Five things I wish I knew before I started my own business.
Hi, I'm Hayley, Chief Doodler at Thoughts Drawn Out. I'm all about getting creativity working so I can help you to make your mark.
So I started Thoughts Drawn Out 6 years ago now. As a side hustle, I was still a professional working in the corporate environment, and I followed a passion. I found visual storytelling, and I started Thoughts Drawn Out as a side hustle. And over several years, I built up a client base. I built up my service offering and some physical products. And eventually it became my full-time business. And it's been a great journey. I've loved it. I'm not going to pretend it's been easy. It's been tricky, but I wouldn't have it any other way. But there are a few things that I wish I had known before I started the business or before I started that push to make it my full-time business. And that is what I'd really like to share with you today. Having said that, some of these things, I don't know, I think maybe you have to learn them the hard way. I couldn't have been taught these things, but maybe for some of you, maybe this is really timely advice. If you are in that position in your professional career where you are looking to start the side hustle, follow the passion project, or make the leap as a full-time entrepreneur or business owner, maybe this is the exact advice that you need right at this exact moment. So here it is, my top 5. Number 1, you must value yourself before others will value you. That sounds really obvious. But what I didn't realize when I started was that I set the benchmark. I really had no idea how to price things when I began. I knew what I liked to do. I knew what I could offer. I could describe a service. I had no idea how to price it, where to pitch it. So I picked a number that I hoped was acceptable, and I started quoting it to people with very little confidence. I have to say, I almost like I'd say it almost like a question when I would pitch my price to people, because I was really worried that that people wouldn't see the value in what I was offering. So I feel like I was on the back foot for a long time, and I was under quoting so severely. I didn't realize. And over time you talk to some more people, or you put a quote out there, and someone says, "Oh, really? Is that all?" And you go, "Oh, okay." And I have to say, it came as a bit of a light bulb moment. And there's one particular client that came at a time when I was busy and I didn't really have the time. I was still juggling my business and my full-time job at that time. I think I was doing like a 9-day fortnight, which just gave me this little bit of time to invest. And this quote came in at a time when I was really busy, and I couldn't really fit it in. Like I was going to take some hustle to fit this into my schedule. And so I just went back with a highball quote. Like I just thought, I'm just going to put it up here because honestly, you're going to have to pay me that much for me to feel like it's worth the pain it's going to cause to squeeze this work in. Oh, what a great problem to have, right? But back then I was juggling and it was a problem. And I put this quote out there, and they just responded, "Sure, great. Yeah, let's do it. Sign me up. In fact, can we double that? Can we do 2 days, not 1 day?" And I kind of went, "Oh, wow, that's well above anything I have priced myself at before." And you did not even flinch. And then I kind of went, whoa, where have I been doing this wrong? And so it actually took a fair bit of self-talk for me to be like, okay, that is your price. That is what you are worth as your daily rate. And I started quoting this new number as my daily rate. And I felt like my conversion rate of quote to actually booked graphic recording job went up. And that was the moment of reckoning when I went, wow, I've been undervaluing me. So how was anyone else going to see the value in what I could offer when I didn't even value what I could offer? I was there like, oh, please let me do this for you. Please, it only costs you a few cents. Not really, but that's kind of the attitude I was coming to it with. So of course people weren't valuing my work as they should have. So now I come at that very differently. I realize that I have to start from a place of value. I have to start from saying, I'm here to bring value to you. I'm here to serve you. I can do this amazing thing for you. And I really want you to place value on it. I want you to appreciate it, and I want you to see its worth. And that is why it's priced where it's priced. Now, to others, they may still think I am low in the market, I'm high in the market. But what matters is that I now feel good and aligned with the way that I quote, and others respond. So it feels like it's coming at it from a place of even footing. They feel good, I feel good. The value exchange matches the price tag. We're in a good place. So that's kind of the first thing I urge you to do, is really think about valuing yourself first and valuing what it is you do and being clear on what is that value you're offering so that it feels worth the price tag that you associate with it. Number 2, you have choices when it comes to how you build a pipeline and how you ensure you have enough runway in your business. Let me explain. So a pipeline is about knowing how much work you have coming down the pipe. And runway is about how much money, essentially, you have in the bank to keep your business afloat. If for some reason, your business levels were to drop off, or you were to lose some customers or a contract at the last minute, whatever that might be, you have some breathing space to keep things ticking for a certain amount of time. Now, I had never heard of the concept of runway when I started my business. And I didn't even really have that much of it when I went full time in the business. Like, duh. But these are the things you learn along the way. But I just didn't realize that I actually had some choices and some options there. So, and this comes down to how you choose to put contracts in place with clients as well. So I always just thought that I put it out there, I get inquiries back, I book them in, hopefully, fingers crossed, and hopefully I can see maybe like 2 months into the future around what those bookings look like, and fingers crossed none of them drop off. And then I finish the work, I send an invoice, and I give them 30 days to pay it. And I've got this massive lag then between when the inquiry came in and when I actually get paid. And I just didn't know enough to know that I had choices in all of this, that I could set some parameters in my business and communicate them to clients and potential clients that would change the dynamics of all of those things. So you can have more control over your pipeline because you can understand what the capacity is and how you can break that capacity up, and you can proactively communicate that. You can let clients know how they fit into your schedule. And in fact, sometimes that's really helpful. It cuts out a massive loop of inquiry conversation if you can make that information available. Little things like being able to put a Calendly link out there off the end of a business services pack. So when people book time with me, they've already looked through my service catalog, they already have an idea what they want, and they're booking straight into my calendar at a time that suits us both to have the conversation. It means that I can have that booked in one, probably not even half-hour conversation, by making all of that information available upfront and front loading all of that. I can also put timeframes around when things need to be booked. I can put rules around cancellations, booking fees. So I would never say before, you need to pay this upfront, or there's a 50% invoice upfront to secure the date. I do these things now. I didn't even realize I could do them at the start. So think through options. Think through what you actually have available to you and how you set these things up. You can make your own rules here. And the clearer you are with your own rules, the more your clients will appreciate it, because it takes away a lot of the gray for them as well. Number 3, the deafening silence is deceitful. Now, when I say deafening silence, you all may have an idea what I mean here. That is that feeling of, I'm putting my heart out there, I'm sharing content, I'm making content, I'm trying to add value to people's lives, I'm sharing my passion, I'm putting posts together, I'm making videos. All of this stuff, I'm putting it out into the world, and I'm potentially hearing crickets in return. Sometimes it feels like deafening silence. There may be a comment or two. You might get a few likes. The momentum can be slow. It can be not anywhere near where you would like it to be. And it's very easy to get disheartened and think that that means nobody is listening. But what I've found over time is that you are connecting with people. People are listening to you. You are reaching them. They're just not necessarily letting you know. So over time, I will have people come out and say, I saw that video you put together on X. I really, really loved it. It was so great. It came at just the right time when I needed to hear that message. Or I'll have people email me out of the blue, haven't spoken to them for years. I love your content on LinkedIn. Love seeing it pop up in my feed. It's a light in my day. I had no idea. You've never put a like on anything. I didn't even know you saw it. So that silence can feel deafening, and it can be so disheartening. But I do want to reassure you, the right people are getting your message. Don't stop. Keep going. And the more you put it out there with authenticity, and the more it is a reflection of your true self, and the more it is about you wanting to put value, add value to the world, serve a client base, the more momentum will build, and the more you will realize you are, in fact, connecting with people and reaching them. Number 4, you will have, and possibly already do have, 1,000 voices in your ears, but you have one gut. Trust it. Oh, the number of times I wish I could have followed my own advice here. And I do think it's something I get better at over time. Everyone has an opinion on everything. So if you looked up, how do I best grow my online business? There will be a camp of people that say, it's Facebook groups. You got to have a Facebook group. It's the only way to grow. Oh, no, you've got to be doing reels on Instagram. It's the only way to build an audience. No, you must have this. You must have that. There will be 1,000 voices on every single given topic that you would care to look into. Everyone is an expert. Everyone will tell you how you should do what you should do. Now, I'm not saying to ignore all of those people, because somewhere in there is truth that will work for you. I'm just saying, trust your gut when it comes to choosing what advice to follow and what advice isn't for you. Also, try. give it a go. Try some stuff out and see if it's for you. See if it fits, see if it feels right. And if it doesn't, you'll get that feeling. You'll know in your gut, change, pivot, adjust, experiment. It's okay to try it out. But don't get lost in the sea of all of these experts telling you what you need to do all of the time. You also want to be you, right? It's got to feel like you. You've got to come at it as your authentic self. So you've got to sift through all of the information and find the you through all of that feels good, and that it feels like it's the right representation. It's you putting your best foot forward, and you will know that in your gut. Learn to trust your gut now. Listen to advice, but trust your gut. And number 5, self-love and self-care. They are so important on this journey because you have to protect yourself. So this has been a challenge and continues to be a challenge for me. I'm a really creative person. So I feel really good. I fill my energy cup up when I'm in creative mode. I like to knit. I spin my own yarn and knit it. I like to draw. I like to paint. I do some cooking. All of these kind of creative exploits are what fills up my cup. My business is a creative business where I get to be creative and do creative things all day for clients. So the problem for me is finding the line of when I need to stop, because sometimes keeping up with the work in the business, it's still feeling good right up until the point that I am, let's face it, in the fetal position, crying on the floor because I'm burnt out and I haven't seen it coming because I was having fun. You have to protect yourself. So you have to know when to give your brain a rest. Even if you love what you do, you will be better at it by letting it rest for a bit, walking away and coming back. And in fact, doing that, getting the fresh space, the fresh perspective, walking away, coming back will probably catapult you further forward than had you just kept tracking along. Even if you felt like you were enjoying it as you went, you actually need the brain resets. You need the physical resets. You need the emotional reset. It's a mental well-being thing. So sometimes I do need to force myself to work on a creative project that isn't for a client. That's just me drawing a picture for the fun of it. It's still drawing. And yes, that may mean that I draw 7 days a week sometimes, but it's still a mental reset because it's not the business and it's not my client work. And sometimes I actually learn a skill, or I do like a color combination maybe, or something in a way that I go, wow, I could actually apply that to this project that I have in the business. So it actually feeds back in sometimes, the fact that I took some time out to learn something outside of just the churn, just working on the things constantly. But when it's your business, you are the one to have to identify this for yourself, and it's really hard to do. So you might want to fall back into some of those old chestnuts, of scheduling some of this stuff, of creating end of day rituals. So I'm a big believer on this. How do you transition from your work day to your evening, especially if you've been working at home all day? So I like to have a process of closing down my office. So I usually have a lamp and an oil burner going on over there. So it's part of my start of day ritual that I get that zone turned on. So end of day, I turn it back off, shut the laptop, close the notebook. All cues to my brain to stop. Even though I'm only just walking into the other room, I've given myself a mental cue. I've changed space. I've transitioned for the day. And that means that then I might still have some work stuff buzzing around back here a little bit, because sometimes it's hard to turn that off. But for the most part, new space. And that means that I can give my brain a rest. I won't be focused fully on those things. I have space in there for other creative projects, for my family to just relax and enjoy and go outside and watch a sunset, whatever that might be. But you have to take control of that. Even when you think you don't need it, you do. That's my main advice here. This was a big rambling statement to say, even when you think you don't need a break, you do. Because you will be a better version of yourself having had a break and coming back. Okay, so these have been my top 5 things I wish I knew before I started my own business. And if you are a professional at the top of your game and you are looking to up-level your skills or take things to the next level, and you'd like to get creativity working, I'd like to help you make your mark. I'd like to be there to work with you. So please, if there is a way that I can be of assistance, I want to hear from you. Reach out. I have my Visual Language for Business one-on-one coaching program. I am taking admissions for that currently. I also have several self-paced online courses, which are a great way to start getting creativity working and learning some base creative skills like sketchnoting. So they're definitely worth checking out as well. I'll put links for all of these things below, and I will talk to you again next time.